Shalom, my friends, and welcome to another Open the Armory video. Today, we're going to do a From the Armory video, and this one is going to be another edition of Equipment for Anxiety and Worry. So, the quotes that I have to share today come from several books, mostly one of my favorite books called The Upward Look, which is a daily devotional I highly recommend. And the first quote I want to share comes from Upward Look, the reading from May 8th, and it reads, "Refuse to worry about what you cannot help." And this concept is so powerful because so many of us concern ourselves with things that we cannot change, that we cannot help. And in the Serenity Prayer commonly used in Alcoholics Anonymous, we can see this very concept where it says, help me to change the things that are within my power, to accept the things that I cannot change. And this is a powerful prayer. So we can have this attitude of refusing to worry about what we cannot help. The next reading comes from the same book on the reading for February 10th, page 55. It reads, "God is not pleased that any one of his representatives worries, wearies, and wears himself out, so that he does not diffuse the sweet fragrance of heaven in his life. We have but one life to live. Jesus has come to our world to teach us how to live that life, that we may represent the character of heaven. We must never grow faint-hearted, for it will be far worse for ourselves and for others within the reach of our influence. God requires us to behave with dignity under trials and temptations. The man of sorrows who was acquainted with grief is before us as our example. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne." This is a powerful, powerful paragraph. Notice this sentence again. God requires us to behave with dignity under trials and temptations. How many of us are so easily drawn to murmurings, disputings, complaints when it comes to trial? But the Bible itself tells us to do all things without murmurings and disputings. It is a solemn, solemn warning. There is so much to be said on this subject, and I encourage you to check out the other From the Armory about worry and anxiety, because we are given the explicit instruction in Matthew 6, chapter 6, verses 33 and 34, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." When we could be perplexed by crossing bridges too early, by contemplating about bridges we have not even arrived at, we need to remember to cross that bridge when we come to it, to be prudent, to be mindful, to be aware of that bridge's existence, but not to dwell upon it. When we are on the path, when I'm on a path like this and I see this tree before me that's crossed over the path, all I need to focus on is climbing over that tree if that is the direction I want to go. I do not need to worry about what is down the path. I might be able to see it, I might know it's there, but it's not my concern right now. The only thing I need to do is concern myself with getting over this tree, which I can reasonably do to go around it or over it, as I can demonstrate. If I just squeeze by this way, I can make my way over this tree. But I do not need to worry about what comes up next. I do not need to worry about these charred logs, these other elements in the pathway. I can be at peace in that position. I can be content in whatsoever state I am. Paul gives the warning, gives the declaration saying, "I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content." That verse was life-changing for me because We need to learn this as Paul did. Paul was a man who was shipwrecked, bitten by serpents, stoned, let out of a city in a basket because the people did not want him there. He was not appreciated, not respected. So my appeal to you today is to cross those bridges when you come to them, to learn to be content in whatsoever state you are, to take therefore no thought for the morrow, to refuse to worry about what you cannot help, and to remember that God is not pleased that any one of his representatives worry, weary, or wear themselves out. He requires us to behave with dignity under trials and temptations. And remember that there is no temptation taking you but such that is common to man, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which ye are able, but will with the temptation make also a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So know this, my friends, that God is able to help you in any trial and temptation. You can be at peace. You can learn to be content. It may not be natural to you, but you can learn. You were not born knowing English. You were not born knowing all the things you know, but you learned and you learned and you can learn to be content. And that is my message for today. Remember that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Remember to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto this day is the evil thereof. Shalom, my friends. Remember that the Bible is the armory where we may equip for the struggle. Shalom.